Good morning. So test route number 3 from Hull Test Centre. Remember, these are not in any way, they're not numbered. DVSA don't publish test routes anymore. These are just from test routes that I've experienced whilst out observing tests. So we're going to be moving off, and test centre is just behind me, and we're going left at the end of the road from Reservoir Road onto Clough Road, and then we're going to be turning right straight away at the roundabout. Third exit, so first roundabout, turning right. They give you that instruction straight away as you're approaching the end of the road. Move straight into this right hand side lane, and you don't have to go into the left and then move over to the right hand side. It just shows much better planning if you go straight out into that right hand side, if you can do, if it's safe to do so. If that signal comes off, get it back on again. Maybe checking and signalling as you're passing the last exit before the one that you want. As I'm approaching the next roundabout, I'm making sure that I'm easing off my gas, covering my brake and clutch, and just as I'm approaching where I see a Hull exhaust centre on my right hand side, I am slowing right down to more or less stopping, really leaning forward in my seat, making sure I can see if there's anything coming from my right hand side, making sure it's turning before I start making that turn myself. Now, a lot of the time you'll see people come up to that roundabout way too fast, not got enough time to look. If you're on test, do that, what I've just done. As we're coming through the bridge, so you should be on the lookout now for the fact that you've got a 20 sign coming up in the road ahead. Just as we're passing the NPK servicing centre, easing off your gas as you're approaching the sign, trying to let it slow down to about 20 miles an hour, making sure that you are at or just below 20 miles an hour before you enter into this zone. At the roundabout, we're going to be going right. Again, we're going to be slowing down. It's a little bit more open on that one, so we can be going a little bit quicker. You have to come to a full stop if you don't have to, but again, covering the brake. Now, just as we came into that 20 zone, just as you're coming off the roundabout, you should be on the lookout. There are 30 zone signs. This is a 30 mile an hour zone at the moment. Is it safe to necessarily go 30? Well, for a straight bit, yeah. But as you're approaching this bit here, we want to be using off the gas. Again, increasing your speed a little bit, and then off the gas again as we're approaching the bend. I can cover my brake and clutch at that point because you really don't know what's coming around the corner. And then they may ask you to pull up on the left hand side just here. If you've got a vehicle behind you, make sure you signal, slowly coming up, gently braking, stopping. And if they ask you to do it about a car length before the car in front, make sure you can still get out again. Whenever you pull up, make sure you pop that signal back off. Last thing you want to do is move off in heat of moment and have a signal on that's telling people that you were turning left when really we're pulling off. When you've got these vehicles coming up from behind you, just get ready if there's nothing coming, and then as you release your handbrake, then you can start to signal. Make sure when you're doing that angled start that you're not interfering with anybody oncoming from the opposite direction. And make sure if you do spot anything coming up behind you, that you're starting to make that progress and get up to the suitable speed for the road conditions as soon as you possibly front of us and it's a tight space, so I'm off the gas, I'm looking down the road and I'm looking for reflections. I'm slowing down as I'm approaching that little tiny bit there. And again, just here, especially when we've got larger vehicles, off gas, covering the brake and clutch, just being prepared to stop if you have to. Like here now, I'm off the gas, I'm covering the brake and clutch, I'm slowing the car down. What I'm going to do is just going to wait back here, about a car length away from the vehicle to my left hand side. I'm already moved now, and this is so that I'm not sticking my nose out too far into the road when I can't really go anywhere. When I know there's space there, and I know it's safe, and I know I'm not inconveniencing anybody else, I can then start moving off. You're not slowing anybody down behind you because no one in front of you is moving. So down Skullcoats Lane, we're coming up to shortly Beverley Road and such, Queen's Road and such like that. And as you're coming around this corner, as you notice, if you ever see any cars that look like they're in this lane here behind this, where the van is and the silver car is, they look like they're parked, they're not. It's like double yellow lines, or single yellow lines and then double yellow lines. It can look like all these cars are parked because the road is so tight, the lanes are so tight, that it can look like they're basically parking up. Don't try and go around them, okay? I've seen them quite a lot before. I'm going to go left here. Always be on the lookout for those lights to start changing. But yeah, I've seen plenty of people trying to go like they're going to go around and overtake what looks like those parked cars on that left hand side. If you're unsure about anything, as you're approaching it, nice and slow, and try and see, especially with parked vehicles, you know, can you see anybody in the car? They look like they're properly parked, like, you know, the wheels look like they're really, really close to that left hand side. Look for lights, look for exhaust fumes to show that the car's in operation. Now, I've been stuck here for quite some time waiting at the lights. What appears to be some time, it's not as bad as what you normally think. Always try and make sure and check as we're just waiting here. Make sure it's in, you know, in your gear. You think the light's probably going to change now. These ones have just gone. They've just started going. They're slowing down and our lights are changing. Make sure you've got no cyclists coming up on the left and right of you. If there are, they're quite close. Possibility you think you're going to have to give way. Remember, hierarchy of road users. Cyclists are more vulnerable. We're going to go right. That's quite common for people, especially if they're in this this lane that's next to me on the right hand side, to kind of let you go if there's a queue of traffic. Always make sure if they do let you go, there could be a cyclist or a bus coming on the, you know, the inside edge of them. If they do let you go, creep forward and try and look down that lane on the left hand side. Now, as I'm coming up here, especially with the gates being only, like, you know, big enough for one lane, we're going to go left, one car I should say. Always try to, I'm going to pull up on the left hand side, just a second. As you're approaching anything like that, you know, where there's only room enough for one vehicle, always be approaching something like that with the idea in mind that somebody's going to move off, somebody's going to pull out, somebody's going to come down the road at too fast a pace. Cover your brake, cover your clutch as you're doing it, yeah? always be asking yourself, could there be something coming around that corner? Could somebody move off? If you're always asking yourself that question, if you're always expecting some car to be coming around, somebody to run out in the road, then you're never going to be surprised. If you're going to be in that situation where you think it might happen, off gas, cover your brake. We'll move off again now. Taking the next road on the left. Again, we can't really see down this road. Off the gas, cover the brake and clutch, be prepared. There might be a parked vehicle, there might be somebody walking the dog like that. And we're going to be taking the next road on the right. It's called next road on the right because you can still go ahead. It's not end of the road, turn right. And again, I really can't see. I've got this guy standing there, he's obscuring my view a little bit. So I'm always, if I can't see, slowing right down and stopping. I'm going to let these guys go through and into their left hand side, and good planning from the vehicle in front of me right now. They couldn't see, so they held back. Never ever blindly follow another vehicle. So we're coming down here. Again, moving back over to my left hand side position if I have time to do so. What I class as having time to do so is, can I go as I'm passing the vehicle, mirror check, move in, travel down it, and then have time to mirror check to go out. If it's mirror in, out, mirror out again, then there's no real time to be able to do anything. Now I was waiting there for that oncoming vehicle, and always make sure, you know, there's a vehicle coming up behind me, always make sure that vehicle can see what you're doing. You haven't pulled in too far to the left hand side, so it looks like, you know, that they can just go past us. And at the end of the road, we're going to go left. As I'm approaching the end of the road here, as I've got Princess Ave in front of me, Ray's Balti in front, get there, there tends to be, there's a big tree on the right hand side with a bus stop and a big large white van parked. Try and look down to see if it's safe to go. Really creep forward and really see and make sure it's safe to go before you start going. Remember, we stop at the giveaway lines, and then if there's a vehicle obscuring our view, we kind of go up towards that vehicle, our front end in line with it, being guarded by it from any of the vehicles that are coming from the right or the left or whatever, and making sure that we stop there again, so they can see our vehicle kind of coming out, just in case. At the end of the road, we're going to be going left. Be on the lookout, okay? And we're going to go straight into that right hand side lane. And then we're going to be turning right. Yes, the light was green for me. Did I have to stop and wait? Okay, well, you're thinking about it, okay? You're thinking about possibility that she could have just gone. Did I have to stop and wait and let go? Well, it was my priority. Okay, where the hierarchy of road users comes into it is if, you know, you're coming in and so we're turning right here and there's no lights or anything else like that, so there's no priority given. Okay, so we're always going to give priority to those more vulnerable users, and we're going to use this opportunity to basically just pull up on my right hand side so that I can finish this as part 1. Okay, so I'll see you again shortly for part 2.